Let's get it. We are live right now. Give me 1 second to share this with everybody. Y'all know I sing every time I go live while I do this. And here's another time of me doing it again. We're live, we're live, we're, we're, we're live. And I'm waiting a few seconds for my viewers to come on because we are live. And there we go. We got a couple people watching. Uh, okay. There's my mama. Hey, mom. Let's give me a second to share this on my page and tag everybody. And it's shared. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Five, four, three, two, one. Welcome to everybody. I see a few more people are coming in. I'm trying to pull this up on my phone so I can see where it is. There we go. I want to unmute you. So cool. Welcome everyone. Thank you guys for tuning in. For another episode of my brother show, as I have recently changed the name to the my brother show. Of course, I'm your host Maurice Resch, and today I'm really excited about today's topic. We're going to dig into self-image. We're going to dig into self-esteem. We're going to dig into how men deal with that. We're going to dig into what it looks like when you're dealing with those issues. And I have some amazing guests on here with me today. Some amazing people that are going to share their stories. They're going to share their, I guess, testimonies, for lack of a better term, and what it is that they're going with that. So, just allow me to introduce everyone one by one. First and foremost, I guess I'll go with my longest tenure friend, my cousin. I've known this guy, man, had to be on maybe 13 or 14 when we met, man. Going to church and we done hooped together. We done partied together. We done, prayed together. We done had fun together, man. And like I said, I call him my cousin. So if you ever hear me say cousin on this episode, that's what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna bring on my homie Isaiah Butler. Isaiah, what's going on?
What's going on, cuz, man? How you doing?
I'm good. And you can find Isaiah right there. That's his Instagram tag at Ziz Dinero. And you can look up his page, the Soul Supplier. He cooks soul food platters. I'll give him some more time to talk about that later on in the episode.
Appreciate that,
You go
cuz.
find that page right there. You follow it. You give him an order. I've had the food. It tastes great. So that's my man Isaiah. Next, I got this is my guy. I like to give him crap because he's a big Jay-Z fan. He's a real big Hanky fan. And I don't think he keep it real when he's talking about him, but that's still my man 100 grand. We used to argue all the time about which one of us weighed the least, and I'm 100% sure that I got more weight than him now. But I'm gonna bring on my man, my friend Sean Fleming. Flem, what's good?
What's up, Rush? What's up, man? Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me.
Yo.
Definitely, yo. I'm sure I weigh more than you now too.
Oh, for sure, man. You got that one.
Right. And then I'm gonna bring on this guy. He think he can shoot better than me. I don't think he got a better jump shot than me. But when I guarded him, he ain't score on me. And I'm gonna stick to that. But nah, he's a father, he's a blogger, he's a model, he's an author, he's a real good dude. I'm gonna bring home Cedric Wise. Ced, what's going on, bro?
Yo, what's going on? Why you had to put me out there like that, man? I'm not here to trash you about basketball, man. You know what I mean? But anyway, thanks for having me, everybody. I appreciate it. You know what I mean, being on the show.
Yeah, man. So again, like I said, today we're going to dig into just self-esteem, self-image, what that looks like. As always, this episode is sponsored by Creations of Hope. You see, I got that scrolling at the bottom. Beautiful sister. She's a great caterer. Follow her on Instagram. One of the best cooks I know. So I got two cooks on this episode, but my good sister Rachel, owner of Creations of Hope, sponsored this. So you go and follow her. And so we're gonna go ahead and and we're gonna go ahead and dive right in, guys. So I sent you guys the questions a little bit earlier. I don't got no real order on which order I want y'all to answer it. But let's just start off with the first one, guys. How do you define self-image, and how is it related to your self-esteem?
I think the self-image is how you see yourself.
Yeah.
How you see yourself. How you when you look in the mirror, when you walk down the street, when when you're in your alone time, how you see yourself, outwardly, inwardly, um, all of that. I think your self-esteem is how you feel about yourself. They're close, but I think they're slightly different. Um, but I think they're both very important. They're very important.
Right.
I agree with that.
Oh, you going?
You go, Seth.
All right. So if I could jump in, I think it's like the greatest like work of art that you're continuously going to have to work on. Um, once you hit like puberty, your body starts to change, and then once you become, let's say you become like 25, you might have a kid or whatever, your body changes. Then 30, 40, your body keeps changing. So it's like something that you could, to piggyback off of what he's saying. It's how you view yourself, but you're going to have to continuously maintain it as you grow, and you might get fatter or skinnier, you lose your hair, you know what I mean, like things like that. So it's a continuous work of art that's never pretty much never finished. But that sums it up for me.
Yeah, I agree with both of them. And to be honest, I look at your self-image and your self-esteem kind of like the stock market. Every day it fluctuates. So some days you might feel good about how you look, so your self-esteem is a little better. Then you might the next day wear certain clothes and you don't like the way you look in them. And
Right.
off the rip, that messes with your mentality. Your self-esteem is lower than the previous day, or so. Like you said, it's something you got to work on every single day, and it can change. The next day, it could change in the middle of the day. Somebody could say something that triggers something, and then you
Right.
feel low. So it's a lot to go with that.
Yeah. And you guys are going to hear me use the word wormhole a lot in this episode, right? And what I mean when I use the term wormhole is you fall into this cycle, right? Like once you start to get down on yourself, like you could really go into a real big wormhole, a spiraling down and down, and it's a lot harder to build a positive self-image and a positive self-esteem. You can lose it really quickly, and there's so many different ways that you can lose, your view of your image. And I think that they're related in the sense of if you don't look at yourself in a positive light, of course, you're going to have a low self-esteem. But you can get into this wormhole, right? And of just being hard on yourself. And it could start because maybe your parents talked to you a certain way. It could start because maybe the girls never, gave you the attention that you thought you might have wanted. It could start because maybe you gained some weight at some point. It could start because maybe you got like a bad scar or something from an accident. And like there's so many different things that can impact your self-image and your self-esteem. And then you fall into that wormhole, man. Like once it start going down, it start going down. And the crazy thing is, and we'll dig into this later in the episode, especially when I get into your individual stories. The crazy thing about it is like the moment your self-esteem starts to drop, all your other habits go with it. So let's say you were like working out crazy hard, and you tried to talk to some girl and she shoots you down and calls you on, you ugly, you're not my type. Your whole self-esteem go down. Now you're not going to the gym no more. Yeah, I mean, so you start putting on weight, and then you start putting on weight, and now your self-esteem go lower, and now your self-esteem lower, and you slip into depression, and you don't want to do nothing. It's like legit like a wormhole. So that's my theme of the day, wormhole. If y'all don't remember, no other word I said is that wormhole.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think that's why it's important to have how you feel about yourself anchored in something more than external stuff. Whether it's clothes, you really have to build up how you feel about yourself and anchor it in something that's unshakable within inside of you. Whether it's your belief in God or whatever your belief system you might have, something you have to anchor it in something, because as Isaiah was saying, day by day we come across different things that might shake us a little bit. So we need to have that anchored in something that's inside of you that's unshakable.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And so if you just start getting into the next question, I'll give it to you, Seth. I think you had something to say, but the next question is, why is it important to maintain a positive opinion of yourself even while you're working on your image?
For survival, man. For me, anyway. And I'll give y'all like a quick background on it. For me, it started in high school because when you go to high school, there's this like totem pole or ranking order, if you will. And I always felt like the fat kids didn't never get a fair shake. We were below the nerds. You know what I'm saying? So one of the things I did was I was like, nah, we're gonna change that. We're gonna be athletic. We're gonna dress right. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be attractive so that nobody can use us for punching bags or always have us the butt of the joke. And
Right.
for me, it worked. Like I'm sure everyone will tell you, so, like surviving high school, depending on who you are, your background and all of that, it's difficult, man. So I that like people who know me will tell you, and just from what I post, I love fat
Right.
boys, man. You know what I mean? Like fat boys forever. So um, if I can base it off of that, it's survival for me.
Mm. Yeah, you want to, Isaiah, Slim, y'all want to take
Yeah, I
that?
can. Like he said, when you're the main focus of all the jokes when you're big, and I've been like up and down in weight for most of my life. Starting from a kid, I used to be skinny. I used to have seizures, so the medicine would make me gain weight. Used to have to take certain asthma medicine that made me gain weight, and that kind of crushed my confidence. And I kind of acted out in school a whole lot. Main reason I was short tempered, so whether they would call me short or fat, I was quick to fight all the time. So I felt like I had to maintain the image of not being sweet to get me by on being fat. Because I
Mm.
already knew that was going to be they joke. So I had to have that made up in their mind that if you try me, I'm gonna trash you.
Mm.
So it didn't make people think twice, like, oh, he fat or this and that, or trying to bully me just because I'm big. So I always had to tell myself, like, yeah, you're big, but other people love you. As long as somebody love you, as long as people care for you, stop worrying about what everybody else say about you, and that helped me get through every day of my life, man.
Mm. And, I just want to put this caveat out to my people watching on YouTube. You guys are like 10 seconds behind where we are in the actual stream. So I apologize if you toss a comment up and I don't get it up on the screen. I apologize about it, but you guys are on a longer delay than my viewers on Facebook. I just want to put that out there. But no, that's real, Isaiah. What you were saying, like you, it's because I think depression is very real, right? And it doesn't matter what you look like weight wise, like fat, skinny, short, tall, like depression is very, very real. And the moment you start to look at yourself in a negative light, then depression can sneak in. And the moment depression sneaks in, your desire to do anything goes away. Literally, your desire to do anything goes away. The things you love doing, the things you don't love doing. And
Hmm.
I saw a post one day on Facebook, and it was like, shout out to anybody who's pulled themselves out of a dark place because that's not easy to do. And that's so real to me, man.
Hmm.
Like that wormhole. There I go again. That word wormhole. That wormhole was so real. Where you like I found myself, and I think if you've been following me on Facebook, I recently started therapy a couple of weeks ago. And as I'm starting therapy, and as I'm starting to think about things that I haven't really thought about before, I kind of felt myself like going downhill, like really like jumping down to like this deep like depression where I don't really want to do anything. Like I come home and I just sit on the sofa. If my kids are here, I'm like, make sure their tablets are charged up and let them run around. And I mean, luckily I have some amazing people in my corner who are just there to support me and they're there to kind of help me out and they can notice the changes in my personality. But it's so real that the moment you start to get down on yourself, be it your image, be it your weight, be it your height, be it your anything, like and depression starts to seep in, that thing will cripple you. Like it will cripple you. It will have you not wanting to move. It'll have you if some people are stress eaters, so the moment you get depression and stressed out, you eat you start to eat anything in sight, like and if you're not moving, of course, like that's just all gonna sit there. So with that being said, I know I had some individual questions that I sent to you guys. So Sean, I do want to start with you because I know we were talking about the weight thing on the grander scale, but on the
Right.
lower scale for us slimmer brothers, right? People always say, "Oh, you slim, you don't need to work out." I mean, that's the you don't gotta work out. You healthy. Like what you doing? Like I mean, you good.
Right.
So how did you get into running?
Well, um, I'm 43. So when I got around, as I started getting closer to 40, I started realizing that, hey, you know, I'm getting up here in age. I'm not as active as I used to be when I was younger, and I wanted to stay healthy. I wanted to stay healthy. One, as a man, as a black man, everything that we already go through, predisposed, you know, all the things that we hear about, and I would try little things here and there to try to get active. I would try to go down the drive and run a little bit. I would start and stop, and then actually, what really got me started was a friend of mine, one of my close friends, Ryan. He had hit me up. Well, he had put on Facebook, actually. He didn't hit me up. He put on Facebook and he was like, hey, I need somebody to do this run with me. I'm doing this run. I need somebody to do a run with me. And that's my man. And I just was like, yeah, I'll do it. But I'm thinking it's one of them, you know, you walk around with the donuts and, you know, everybody. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's a little charity thing. My man, he's a police officer. You know, I'm thinking, you know, that's my man out back. So he called me the next day. He was like, yo, you serious about doing this? And I was like, yeah, what's up? How long is it going to be? He was like, it's a half marathon. And I was like, a half marathon? And he was like, yeah. Like, how long as far as that? He was like 13.2 miles. I was like, oh. But I had already gave my word. You know what I mean? And I'm somebody who, inside of me, I'm somebody who always tries to keep their word. You know what I mean? Best of my, no matter what it is. If I tell you I'm gonna do something, I try to accomplish it to the best of my ability. So this might have been in November. Might have been in November of 2018. So he was like, we can start training now. So we trained all through the winter, and the race was in March. So as I was training, I just developed a love for it, and I found the outlet that it became for me. Like I said, when I was turning 40, and as I was getting older, I was trying to find ways to stay active. You know, I hooked up even with Itch. Rush.
Itch was on. Anybody watch? Itch was on our first episode. The brother,
good dude.
Personal trainer.
Yeah, I would hook up with Ish. We go out, we do our cardio, all that stuff. That stuff is great. But then when we go to the gym, because I'm a little slender, you know what I mean? I'm a little thin, you know, that's where the self-confidence, I would get a little, you know, in my head, because I'm in the gym and it's either guys, or the guys are either, you know, already built out, you know what I mean? And then also there was women there, and I didn't want to be the skinny guy like the Bazooka Joe bubblegum kind of skinny guy. Everybody else, you know, I'm doing the bar or whatever, what have you. So that would play in my mental. You know what I mean? And I think I'm a pretty strong person mentally, but we all have areas of, you know, self-doubt. You know what I mean? So the running thing, when that happened for me, I got more out of it than just going to the gym. I still do cardio, but I got more out of it because I was running. It was time for me to be with myself, with my own thoughts. It became my stress reliever. You know what I mean? If I had a hard day at work, I knew I can go run. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was my time, you know, to just clear my mind. And more than physically, it helped me a lot mentally. Just having that space, that time by myself, you know what I mean? It helped me mentally, and that's what I fell in love with. You know what I mean? And all the other benefits, the physical benefits, came from that.
And you know, of course, you saw my next question, which was, you know, they say, hey, you're getting some compliments here. Yeah, Sean. Yeah, Sean.
She always down. Shout out to Martin Talise, man.
So what do you say to those people who say, "Oh, you're skinny, you know, you're slim, you don't need to run"? Like, are you going to vanish off the face of the earth? Like, how do you respond to those remarks?
How you look on the inside, I mean, on the outside has nothing to do with how you are on the inside.
Oh, that's a whole word right there, man.
You know, it's true. You know, I had my blood pressure was high. I would get headaches. You know what I mean? I just didn't feel good. I felt sluggish. I could tell when I didn't feel confident about myself, because maybe if I wore a shirt and I had to tuck my shirt in, I was a skinny guy, but I had a little stomach, you know what I mean? And I didn't want to be the skinny guy, I always say, like, shaped like a letter P, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? And I didn't want that. I wanted to feel good about myself. I didn't want to have any holes in how I felt about myself. I didn't need to be big, but I just need to feel. I need to feel feel confident in the fact that I was healthy. One, and then two, that I felt good about when I stepped out the door. You know what I mean? And that was it. So it doesn't matter your size. You know, I would implore anybody to first build the inside up. You know, make sure that you're healthy. You know what I mean? You don't, just because you're skinny doesn't mean you're not. It doesn't mean you're healthy. I'm sorry. It doesn't mean you're healthy just because you're skinny. And just because you might be a little bit bigger, don't mean that you're unhealthy. You know what I mean? But you do all you can to find one that space that makes you feel good. Two, to make sure that your body is operating the way it should. And that would be my advice. Sorry if I rambled.
No, you did good. I was going to ask you the last question, but you see, anybody watching, I got some pictures that show them popping up here. Some of them sweating, and you know that one right there. If you can see it in the corner, it says 8.01 miles run, and got a medal from running.
Yeah, and the medals are addictive too. medals are addictive. You know what I mean? That's my thing. You know, they get a little addictive, but you know, all that for me, that was my motivation. You know, getting medals if I did a race. You know, running, and it's really me against myself. You know, when I'm running and I get to 5 miles and I want to quit. You know, finding that extra push inside of myself, and now I'm back in gear and I'm running. You know what I mean? And that feeling that I get when I run back to my house and I get back and I've ran 10 miles, I ran 14 miles. For me, there's nothing like that for me. It gives me everything I need to get up the next day, to work in a corporate atmosphere and deal with other people and everything else. And that's my outlet. You know what I mean? Like I said, for the physical aspect, but more importantly, not just the physical, the mental aspect, it's really been a blessing to me, man. And you know, when I don't do it, I get antsy. I'm like, oh man, I gotta run. I ain't running 2 days. I ain't running 3 days. Oh man, I gotta run. You know, and I take it on the road with me. I take it when I travel. I find somewhere to run. You know what I mean? It's really become a asset and a blessing to my life, physically, spiritually, and mentally, man.
That's good stuff right there.
Yeah, that's what's up.
All right, so Seth, you know, we're gonna switch over to Seth. As I said earlier, Seth's a model, and the first question you said, how did you get into modeling?
So you know, it's funny that that's one of the questions, but one of my friends used to tag me in these modeling castings, and I would always, you know, think to myself, like, it's impossible for me to be a model. It's impossible for someone to accept me, you know, or to want me to walk their runway. So I kept fighting it. I fought off the first round of casting, and she kept tagging me on Instagram in their specific post. The actual group that I belong to is called Loving My Curves. It's you know, pretty much for women, but what they did was they had a big and tall show of their own, and they you know, casted some guys for it, some amazing guys. So you know, I mean, knowing myself, knowing that I'm actually so let me rewind real quick. I devoted like the next half of my life to doing things that, you know, I've always said were impossible. Not like crazy stuff like skydiving and stuff like that, but if somebody says, hey, I think you should do this, you know, obviously within a positive reason, I'm going to try to do it. So I show up, you know, you got to give them all your measurements. I hit the walk form, and the rest is history. So,
you said I hit the walk form.
Yeah, you know, hit the big boy walk form.
The temptation slide out.
Yeah, you know,
hit that walk form.
No, not that one. I didn't give him that one. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know, just pushing myself to try different things, to try stuff that's not on my bucket list. I think everybody should do that. You know what I mean? At a certain point in their life, you know what I mean? After you've done a whole bunch of things, I feel like there should be things that we do that we're not even looking at, you know? So.
Yeah, it's crazy that you say that. Said this is a true story. So I'm walking in the gallery like before they blew it up and rebuilt it one day, and some dude was like, "Hey man," talking to me. He was like, "Hey man, you ever think about modeling?" And I'm like, "No, I ain't doing that. Like that's girl stuff." For rap, that's my response. I was maybe like 22 when this happened too, so I was a little more immature. He was like, "Nah, man, like you got the build, you got the figure, you look good." I thought he was hitting on me. So I'm like, come on, man, like get out of here. I ain't doing that. But like to hear you say, you know, what it is that you said, I'm like, well, dang, you know, like I was so close-minded back then that just the notion of it, you know, made me go straight off the deep end. But I think it's dope that you got into that. And that gives me right to my next question is, you know, a lot of people think that models have a certain look to them physically, where, you know, you think about this tall, even the woman, you think about like the tall, slender woman, the long legs or whatever. I'm thinking for the guys, built, strong, you know, chiseled or whatever. What would you say to people who thinks that you know you don't have, I guess, the stereotypical model look?
Well, you know, in 2020, the world is changing, man. Let me tell you, at our rehearsal for the last show, Philly Fashion Week down at the gallery or whatever, the fashion district, whatever people are calling it, maybe in a room full of, I don't know, 70 big and tall, beautiful men and women just walking in confidence, you know what I mean? Tall, short, round, like all of the different, you know, the different looks that big people come with just in a room. And you know, it's almost like being in fat, I call it fat people heaven. No disrespect to anybody, but because literally everyone in the room has one goal, and you know, everybody's walking that fierce walk and walking tall with their shoulders broad, chest out, and just ready to be the main attraction when they're out, you know, on that runway for whatever 15 seconds. So, you know, I just think the world, the way the world is changing, man, the world is trying to do a better job at accepting everybody. So it's a little bit easier to kind of be, you know, this size or small, whatever, you know, whatever it is that you are, there's a place for you in the world is what I'm getting at. I feel like I'm getting long winded there, but
no, you good. And how would you explain the impact that modeling has had on your self-esteem and your self-image?
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. It was already pretty high. Some people might, some people might call it cocky, but I've also heard, you know, that you're just basically more self-aware than the next person. So, but I think it boosted it a little bit just because it's like one more thing that I can do. You know what I mean? Like I've never would have thought in a million years that I'd be strutting on somebody's runway. You know what I mean? You know, 100, 200 people screaming, yelling, women whistling, throwing stuff at you. I mean, it's like a rush. You know what I mean? It's a Maurice Rush. It's an amazing feeling, man. So, you know, if anything, it made it worse. Like my girl always making fun of me, telling me I'm acting light skinned. You know, especially when I get a cut. I can't hear, you know, I hear it all when I get cut. So if anything, it made it worse. You know what I mean?
Okay, player. Look at the comments. Okay, player. Nice. Okay. No,
but I think one more point. I think it helps me in my ultimate goal in life. Like, you know, for the last like 5 or 6 years, I've been like writing books and trying to, you know, encourage people to be whoever they're going to be. So I feel like if I can do something like that and it shows people, if you know, maybe they'll look at me and say, well, if Sad could do it, I could jump out there and do it too, or I could be this way too. So if I get an opportunity to do something that'll help somebody else, you know, be more comfortable in their skin, then I'm all for it.
Yeah, it's crazy. You post up if you follow Cedric. Well, I'm friends with Cedric, of course, but anybody who might be friends with Cedric, he'll post stuff up occasionally, like how to wear a suit if you're a big guy, how to do this if you're a big guy, and man, like that stuff is just like great, man. Like I know I'm not like, you know, the biggest dude, but just like to see it, I'm just like, man, like that confidence that you have, man, it's infectious, and to me, it makes me be like, all right, well, look, you know, like maybe I could get over something that I might be self-conscious about. Like a big thing for me, like, I speak with a list. Anybody listening, y'all know I speak with a list. It's like my 9th episode. You done heard it already. So
Right.
because I speak with a list, I don't like to hear myself talk. I got teased for it in high school, and I don't like to hear myself talk. And because I don't like to hear myself talk, I don't rewatch these episodes when they go off, because then I
Right.
got to hear myself talk. So the other day, I'm like, matter of fact, right after I got in contact with you, said, I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, instead I could overcome this, man, I'm gonna listen to myself talk, man. Right? I pulled up some church services where I was talking in church. I pulled up some episodes where I was talking, man. It just made me kind of be like, look, this is who I am. This is what comes with
Right.
me, man, and you got to accept it for what it is. So
Right.
I thank you for that, bro. Like, on some real talk.
And yeah,
No problem.
that's a great point that you both are making, because you really never know how people are viewing you, and
Yeah.
how you're inspiring other people, and how people are inspiring you. You think like, oh man, I'm looking at this guy, I'm looking at this woman, they're achieving and they're inspiring me, and they're inspiring you to go further. And then people are looking at you like, oh man, Rush, you got this
Mhm.
going on. You know, Flim, people inbox me that I don't even know be paying attention. They'd be like, yo man,
Right.
how'd you get into this? Oh man, you always this and this and that. And I don't even a lot of times know how to accept that.
Right.
I'm just like, look, man, I'm trying to figure it out just like everybody else. So,
Right.
we all have to be conscious of the fact that people are always watching us, and
Right.
and, and to be authentic to who we are. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Because people identify with that. So when people see Cedric being authentic to who he is, it doesn't matter if it's another big guy, if it's a skinny guy, if it's a woman, it doesn't matter. They can appreciate that, and that gets them through whatever they might be going through. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Mhm.
it's very important, man, that's a great point, man. You never know who's watching, especially now with social media. You
Right.
know, we could make the life that we want on social media, but you
Right.
always cut through and see the people who are authentic and who are
Right.
truly who they are, because they're the same when you see them in person, or
Right.
Now,
or the people that know them before social media. You know what I mean? So that's very important, man. We all have to be conscious of that, even when we're going through our own struggles. We
Mhm.
kind of have to realize that people are looking at us too. You know what I mean? And find a source of strength in that. You know what I mean?
Right.
To push
Definitely.
the crazy
to
thing
push
is,
through.
since I started this show, right? So, like, I'm king of getting in my own head. Like, literally, I'll talk myself out of $1 million. Like, that's how much in my own head I'll get. So, I like watch a lot. So like I'll share the flyer and I watch the likes, and I'll be like, man, only 5 people like this show, and ain't nobody gonna watch that episode. Or I might as well skip this week because yada yada yada. And then like someone will randomly, I'll just see somebody and they be like, yo man, like I really enjoy what you're doing with that show. Like the other day I'm on a meeting with my church, a Zoom meeting, and my pastor was like, yo, I see everything you're doing with your show. Like, keep it up, man. I'm really proud of you. And I'm like, man, I didn't even think he paid. You know what I'm saying? Like, my man
Yeah.
got like 5,000 Facebook friends. I didn't think he was paying my little post any attention. And I showed up to the cookout on Saturday, Sean. Everybody there was saying the same thing. And to piggyback off of what you were saying, a quote that came to me over the last couple of days, somebody was like, yo, I really wish you saw yourself the way that other people see you. And I was like, I'm looking like, dang. And it was like, no, like, I really wish you saw yourself the way that other people see you, because you're always getting down on yourself. You're always saying what you can do. You can't do this. But, like, you got to look at what you've accomplished and what you have achieved and what you have been through. So I wholeheartedly agree with what it is that you guys saying. So, Seth, you doing your thing, Sean. Like I said, especially for you as like a slim guy and getting out there and being like, look, I don't care what I may look like physically. I still want to feel good, on the inside. That's major. My mommy just put
Yeah,
up.
I do got muscles though, Rush. I do. I mean, I ain't just skinny, man. No, but no, I agree with you, man.
No, so let's Zay, we've been doing a lot of talking. Zay, you have the unique perspective of someone, like you said earlier, who has both lost and gained weight. Take me through the journey and when you were losing weight. And I have some pictures here that I'm gonna put up the second of you. Take me through that journey of when you were losing weight and kind of like how you felt when you were going through that.
Okay, so the journey originally started in like 2012. I was like 210. I went down to like 175, but I had got lazy with it. I turned around and I picked it back up in 2013. I got up to 215 pounds. I'm heavier than that now. But I got up to 215, and I was like, yo, I'm a walking area code. Like, I gotta lose weight. I can't find the same clothes I used to be able to find. I gotta shop online. And then you start feeling like, I don't think I look right in these clothes no more. I don't think I can dress like that no more. I look weird because I'm big. So, and not only that, I had just got out of a relationship. So I was saying to myself, they like me the way I was, but is somebody else going to like me like that? And I had to say to myself, well, you got to love yourself, and that confidence has to show on the outside. So I started, eating well. My brother was one of my inspirations because he's always been in good shape. He started taking me to the gym, and he was like, I'm not expecting you to do what I'm doing because I do this. I'm going to build you up slow, but I want you to end up being better than me. So I started eating properly. I was driving school bus at the time, so I would park the school bus at the gym, work out on my downtime, take a little nap, go back to work, come home, jump rope, do all kind of stuff. And I started feeling like better mentally. I started seeing myself in a better light. My confidence was there.
Just look at this picture, man, bro. You was chiseled.
Yeah,
bro.
And bro, that's crazy. It don't even look like me. But I guess I started being able to go into certain stores and always find something. So I started feeling like I was part of something, different. Always struggling with it. So it helped a whole lot, man, because in my younger days, I used to think girls didn't like me because I was fat. And the crazy thing was, a lot of girls actually liked me, and I was surprised by it. But I was in my head so much that I was even blocking their advances on me. Because I'm like, don't nobody want no fat slob. It's too good to be true. So losing that weight literally turned my confidence around. Like I said, just coming out in public, I just felt different. Like I didn't tell myself anymore, like, oh, they're looking at me because I'm fat. When in reality, they might just like what I had on. But I was defeating myself so bad. I was telling myself, man, like, you fat, you gonna die a heart attack, all kind of crazy stuff. So just that weight loss changed my whole mental and made me a whole different person.
Man, that's real. Like, and I'm sure, you feeling slimmer, you feeling lighter, yeah, I see you posting the moment somebody lose weight, the first thing they do is post a shirtless picture. So
Glad to,
man. Every other day I log into Facebook showing we used to mess with him all the time. Every other day you log into Facebook, he ain't got no shirt on. He posts up on a BMW. Right.
Down playing.
I used to go jogging with no shirt on because I felt good.
I'm like, damn, man, I gotta block my little cousin, man.
Yeah, it's like 30 degrees out. He got the drop top down. Right.
No, it might have been like 54, but
it was cold that day, man.
It's cold.
It's cold. I had thermals on.
Got a hoodie on with the top down.
No, but look, man, you can get back to that, man. You can get back to the healthy form of yourself, man. Physically, mentally, you know what I mean? You got that in you. You already done it before. So it's not on top of you, man. It's not.
And see, like you found love running, I had found love working out. But because I started at SEPT at the time, the 4 years I worked there, my schedule was so crazy. And then the job mentally was hard on me that I got away from that. So my new outlet became eating, drinking, and that's how I shot up in weight so fast.
Yeah.
So take me through that. That was the next question. Take me through that when you were gaining weight. How did you feel?
Well, at first I didn't take it serious, and that was a problem. I kept saying to myself, I did it before, man, I can shred off 20 pounds like it's nothing. And I kept playing around. I went from a medium shirt all the way up to like a large. Then I was like, oh, I'm an extra large. Now I'm a double X. And I look back and I'm like, I blew it. So during the weight gain, you start falling back into the certain insecurities. A oh, it's my lady gonna see some guy on Facebook in shape, and if you know, yikes, that's a bad picture. But yeah, like you see pictures like that, man. You start seeing how your stomach sit out and everything. It starts bothering with you, so it kind of put me in a wormhole.
Mm.
Kind
Yeah,
of,
that word is a wormhole.
put me there, man.
You know,
You go ahead, Sean.
I don't need to cut you off because a comment just popped up. I saw that was very good. You know what I mean? It says you have to find a healthy vice. It's essential to find the time, no matter how much is on your plate, and that's true, man. That's a bar right there. You know what I mean? If I could encourage you, you know, to find that healthy vice, you know, and take it day by day, take it little by little. You know, I didn't, you know, obviously we're coming from two different places, but my love of running didn't start immediately, or me running 14 miles didn't start immediately. I started doing 1 mile. I couldn't run 1 mile straight. You know what I mean? So I found and I stuck with something once I saw the benefit. As soon as I recognized the benefit, now for me, it was a physical benefit, but as soon as I found that mental benefit, like whether I was running 2 miles or whether I was running 10 miles, that mental benefit and how it made me feel about myself and how it made me feel mentally, spiritually, everything, that's what kept me going. And it kept me going. And I started chasing that. You know what I mean? So, you know, I will encourage you, as this comment said, you know, find that healthy vice. That's something that'll make you chase it. You know what I mean? Just like how we chase everything else, whether it's women, drinking, whatever your vice is. And it don't take much for you to get off on that trail. You know what I mean? Find that for yourself, man. Find it. And if you had it before, you can get it again and make time for it. Because we make time for the unhealthy vices. We truly do. You know what I mean? We never say, oh, man, I got to find time to drink. You know what I mean? We don't ever say, you know, oh man, I gotta find time to holler at this chick, or you know, whatever the vices, you know, whatever our vices, good and bad. So find that healthy thing to where it's like, no matter what, I'm gonna get out here. You know what I mean? I can't go 4 days without running. I get the shakes. I'm like, oh man, I gotta run. You know what I mean? Find whatever that is that'll get you back to where you were, because you know you got it in you. We all know you got it in you. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's just a matter of committing that time and committing that part of your mind and your spirit to that. You know what I mean? And saying, hey, no matter what, I'm getting back to where
I agree with that 100%.
My comment section isn't working right now for whatever reason, but I also have a stream right here on the tablet. So I see some of your comments coming in, but I can't post them right now. But I have a comment from my sister-in-law, Tasha, and she says, sometimes when you go through a battle with your weight, you have to check your mental before your physical can follow. I'm going through it now. Please says, you can get it back, Isaiah. You said it yourself. You be in your own head. Melanie, one of my good friends, Melanie, she said her dad didn't start doing the Broad Street run until he was 34. He's 76 now and still runs 5 miles every day. And, you know, just looking at some of those comments coming in right there is like, we can really do. And even with me, a few, maybe late last year, I was playing basketball at some gym in Jersey. There was some 71-year-old white dude out there getting up and down the court, and he could shoot. Knocking them Jones down. He shot way better than you said. But he can shoot. And like, I'm on this court with him, and I'm like, yo, like, this dude is out here, and his team was winning, so he stayed on the court. And I'm like, man, he's 70, and I'm huffing and puffing, you know, after one up and down. Like, what's going on with me?
Y'all lost the whole head from the Six Flags commercial?
Hey, man, he had a team with him. But no, but that's real, man. Like it's all a mental thing. It's all a mental struggle. It's all a mental battle.
I got a question.
What's up?
How do you feel about yourself now?
For me?
Yeah.
I still struggle. Don't get me wrong. I still have my moments of depression. I think the difference now versus then is I have 2 little ones. So even when I get so down on myself, my kids at times look at me like I'm the best person in the world, like I'm Superman. And I feel like they would look at me like that, even if I was small and slim. So that kind of keeps me in a good space when I get down. Definitely my kids, man.
Okay.
Yeah, and like it's crazy because one thing I can tell you from me in this journey that I've gone on with this particular show that I started, like it's nothing to it but to just get out there and do it. Like
Right.
the more that you wait to say, all right, well, I'm gonna wait till next week when I don't got the kids as much, or I'm gonna wait till this day when I'm off of work. Man, like that's another wormhole that you could fall into, and you end up like this. The idea for the show came to me like December of 2018. I didn't start it until April of 2020 because I kept saying, "Oh, I'm gonna wait till next week," or I'll wait till next month to do it. I'm gonna wait till, oh, well, now I went back. I was out of work and I was like, oh, I went back to work, so now I don't got the energy. Oh, I gotta wait till the kid's not here. Like it's really nothing to it. If you have people in your corner, you say, hey, look, I want to go to the gym an hour, this day. You got it. You know what I'm saying? Can you just sit with the kids for me while I go to the gym? Or, I want to go for a walk. Put them in the stroller and push them around with you. Like, just do something to get into that habit. And once that habit start, wormholes work both ways, right? Where you get into a wormhole of negativity, but you can also get into a wormhole of positivity. Like you said, you were addicted to the gym for a while, bro. And you start to do it, you start to feel better. And the moment you start to breathe better and feel better and all of that good stuff, next thing you know, you like Sean. You miss a day of running. You miss a couple of days of running. You start getting that itch, like, oh man, I ain't go out and run in a while. I ain't go out and do this in a while. So, man, we absolutely believe in you, man. And
true. My bad, Roach. I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, I was about to say, and like Seth was saying, the important thing about this is one big thing that I want you to take away from this is that, man, you're beautiful the way you are. And I know it might sound weird coming from me as another man, but like, don't look at yourself as fat. Don't look at yourself as, what I'm saying, too big or nothing like that. Man, like you're fine the way you are. Maintain that positive image of yourself right now. Like I'm beautiful as I am right now. I'm going to take steps to lose weight, but I'm still amazing the way that I look right now. I'm still, created wonderfully. I'm still handsome. The women still love me the way I am right now. And that's the first start to getting over those hurdles that may exist. It says you might be able to elaborate a little bit more than I can on that.
Yeah, I was actually going to say, or he could just embrace it. You know what I mean? Like, it's nothing like going and getting a new suit, man. That might make you feel a little bit better. but as an advocate, as a self-proclaimed advocate for the fat boys, man, just embrace it. You know what I mean? Like I still, play ball when I can. So that's like my healthy thing to do. So just, you know what I mean? You don't have to necessarily get back to being built because you was Buff Bagwell, but just find something to do to keep you healthy and just take baby steps, man. I know from looking at those pictures that you really enjoyed looking like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And from hearing you talk about it, you really enjoyed it. But like we said in the beginning of the show, well, like I said, it's a continuous work of art. So now you're at this point where, maybe you can't get back there. I mean, I really think you can do it, but maybe, with life and with your schedule and with the kids, maybe you don't have the time to get back there. So embrace what you look like now and just take baby steps, man. Don't kill yourself. You know what I mean? Don't like, I know it's easier said than done, like to get out of your own head, but you know what I mean? Just embrace the way you look. People still love you. Your girls, or your lady, whatever, still love you. You know what I mean? So it's a bunch of different ways you could go about it. But you got to do ultimately what's best for you. You know what I mean?
And I'm glad you said that because I just recently started actually buying certain sneakers, certain clothes. Because I'm like, I still got to look nice. I got to the point where I was just throwing stuff on because I'm like, it don't matter because I'm big.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and that was something I had to break out of too and embrace it. But for health reasons, I definitely want to lose weight, man.
Yeah,
right.
and so we all need a support system. You know what I mean?
Right.
We all need to be around people who are going to help foster whatever we're trying to do. Whether it's a dream of starting your own show, rush, whatever it is, we all need a support system. Nobody is strong by themselves. So for me, I have a strong support system. You know, my lady, she encourages me when I, you know, want to go out and run. Yeah, babe, you should go ahead and run. You know, even when I'm running every day, doing 10 miles every day, you know, she's just like, oh, you want to run? You just ran yesterday. Yeah, I need to run. Go ahead and run. You know what I mean?
Right.
And friends, you know, and friends and those that we pull close to us, you know, all our friends, you know, they're vital. The people that you talk to the most are vital. You know, I think for this stage in my life, I have great friends around me. I have a great support system of friends who are into eating healthy, into exercising. You know, my best, probably my best friend that I call my brother. He, you know, he big calisthenics guy. We just rode 30 miles on Sunday or Saturday. You know what I mean? Rode a bike 30 miles. I went and bought a bike, and next thing you know, I'm riding 30 miles with him and my lady's brother. So that support system, you know, I did a challenge in May. I did this challenge. I had to run 160 miles in the month of May. I did it in 16 days, and I did it one because my buddy, I just was saying it, like my brother, he was hitting me every day. Yo, Flynn, man, you gotta do it. You gotta get out here. You gotta do this and that. You know what I mean? Like keep going, keep going, keep going. And I'm like, oh man, all right, yeah, I got it. Even on days when I didn't want to do it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I say that to say we need that support system. We need somebody. We need those in our life who are going to continue to push us to excellence, man. If you're around people, all of us, I'm not singling out anybody. If we're around people who's not going to push us towards excellence, we got to get away from them. You know, you ain't got to not be friends with them anymore, but you gotta turn down the volume on what they saying in your ear and find somebody and find people who are going to push you to be the best you that you could be. You know what I mean?
Right.
And people that you know truly have your best interest in heart, man. You know, that's very important, especially to us as black men, man, and everything that we
right.
go through daily. We need a support system of dudes that's going to check us when we wrong, even if we don't agree and they have
Yeah,
different opinions. You know what I mean? We're gonna have different opinions. I ain't gonna do everything right. He's gonna do everything right. We gonna always gonna see things differently. You know what I mean? But you got to be able to trust that they're not trying to steer you in the right direction. So, you know, that's what I encourage Isaiah, Rush, Cedric, Sean, everybody that's watching. Make sure you find somebody and make sure that you have people that are going to push you, man. That's gonna hold you accountable and encourage you, man. And when they see that you found something that's making you happy and that's improving your life, they're not
yeah,
going to shun you. They're going to push you
right.
towards it. Go and go. You know what I mean? That's very
Yeah,
important, and you know that'll help big time.
yeah. And I got some more comments coming in. Like I said, my comment thing, I don't know what's going on with it. So I can't put them on the screen, but Clee, so Clee, I was going to ask Clee to come on this episode, but I opted not to. But Clee lost a lot of weight. And if showing you know Cleveland, Cleveland, he comments, I lost 100 pounds. Now I get asked all the time, are you sick? The crazy thing is, no one asked me if I was sick when I was 325 pounds, and I really was then. Ish writes, you gotta love yourself. Get up and get active. One of the best ways to fight the demons and liberate yourself is to be physically active. Mark, fitness could be a form of therapy. That's real. Fitness can be a form of therapy. You know, Sean talked about that when he was talking about his running. You know, Isaiah, you also talked about it when you were saying when you was in the gym heavy. You know, I know a lot of people when you talk about depression and things like that, the first thing they'll recommend is that you go out and exercise. So
It's
I think that,
liberating.
yeah. So like I
It's
said, if you need a support system, man, I always, if you ever noticed, I always hashtag break the silence when I do these things, and that's kind of what I'm referring to when I say break the silence, man. Ask, you know what I'm saying? Like you can ask any of the brothers in this chat, we got you. You know what I mean, ask any of the anybody. I mean, just shoot me a text like, yo, man,
Mhm.
I want to make sure I walk at least an hour a week to start off somewhere, and I'll make sure I'm available to walk with you, bro. That's no problem. Yeah, I mean, we go a couple of miles and then we go a couple more miles. Then we run in marathons like Sean. I mean, and that's
Yeah,
real.
just
So I got
find
Yeah,
yeah,
and I
just find
appreciate it.
whatever works for you, man. You know what I mean? We all gonna have different things that make us tick, but find
yeah,
what works for you. that gives you the most satisfaction. You know what I mean? To where you're comfortable in how you feel about yourself. You know what I mean? You don't feel comfortable, work towards getting into that space. You know what I mean? Whatever that is, whatever that healthy vice is, it's going to improve. It's going to improve your life, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
and I
I got one
think
last. Go ahead. Say, well, go ahead, say it, and then I'll get the last question. Oh, what's that, Isaiah? Which one of y'all was just talking? I
oh, that
didn't
was
hear.
me. I was
All
gonna
right, go
say,
ahead.
try to make it real short. My brother always gets on me, like, come to the gym with me, come ride the bike with me, and it's more along the lines, I gotta want to do it myself. You can't help somebody that don't want to be helped. So I have to get into the mode of helping myself. And not only that, I'm a competitor. So I think I need to get myself back into more competitive settings. And that was the thing when I was in the gym. If somebody tried to outdo me, I felt like I had to do more. When I used to write music, before I lost my love for that, I was a competitive person. So if my homie Steve, T-Rock, Dell wrote something that was hot, I ain't trying to like get them out of here, but I'm like, you're not gonna step on me on the track.
Right.
And once music started changing, I felt like it was pointless. I fell back, and I think I probably did get bored with the whole fitness thing because I felt like I accomplished what I needed to, but I didn't stay the course.
Yeah.
Your biggest competition is yourself too, man. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Our biggest competition is ourselves. You know what I mean? So when I can only, like I said, I can only speak for me. When I run, I'm running against myself. Whether it's I'm trying to get a better time, whether I'm trying to go further, whether it's I'm pushing myself because I'm hitting that wall, but I'm 6 miles from home. I got to get back home. When I'm gonna catch a Uber, now I'm gonna feel like I got to get back home. Fastest way to get back home is running. You know what I mean? So our biggest competition is ourselves. You know what I mean? So compete with yourself. Compete with yourself. You know what I mean? Like it's you. Compete with yourself. You know what I mean?
I thought about that.
That's
My fault for having my head turned, guys. I saw a spider. Over here killing spiders.
Nah, you know, I implore you. I implore you. You know what I mean? Don't worry about what the outside noise, man. You know what I mean? Don't worry about what somebody else is doing, and try to measure up to them because you don't know their journey. They could be shortcutting. They could be shortcutting, but you can control what you do. You know what I mean? I can control when I tighten my sneaks up, and I take off running. I can control that. You know what I mean? Compete with yourself. You know what I mean? Because ultimately, it's you that got to feel how you feel. It's you that's going to be, that could be sick. It's you that got the family, that got the kids that love you, that see you as that Superman. That's you. That ain't anybody else you might see. So compete with yourself, man. You know what I mean? Compete with yourself. Be your biggest challenger.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what I was saying, not just for Isaiah, for anybody. I do it for myself. And I could just only speak on how it's helped me, man. How it's helped me. You know what I mean? It's helped me a lot.
Sean, you kind of dug into the last question, Sean. But the last question I have for you guys is just what advice would you give to someone, a man in particular, who's struggling with his image and self-esteem? I know, Sean, you kind of dug into it already, but if either one of you guys want to take that one, go ahead.
I feel like Sean pretty much
killed it.
He might have killed it already. I mean, in a sense, we all have, hit great points on what advice to give. I just think that it's so vital, man. It's so vital to like believe in yourself because you have no idea what you can do until you just put that first foot forward. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like people, and you all may know people personally who have never done anything because somewhere along the line, a teacher or a family member told them they never was going to be nothing. You know what I mean? So they just never went out and did it. They never found that self-belief. So now they work a job they hate. Their life is miserable, things like that. Like it's just so important to instill that that self-belief in yourself so that you can jump out there and do it. I was trying to think of another point, but I'll let somebody else go.
I agree with you 100%. I think one of the things that you can tell somebody is start taking your own advice. Because
Yeah,
at some point in time, we've had great advice for ourselves that we never follow.
yeah,
Even with me being big right now, I still have people that message me like, "Well, when you was working out, what was you eating?" I'm
Mhm.
right,
texting people meal plans and everything. They losing weight, and I'm
right,
Yeah.
still sitting there eating cheesesteaks and all that, not taking my own advice. And
Mhm.
Yeah.
like y'all said, you never know who you're motivating.
right,
So you struggling and falling into that wormhole, you might be dragging somebody else down
Mhm.
because
right,
you might be their motivation. So the best thing you can do is take your own advice and keep pushing.
I
Yeah.
agree. You know,
And for me, go ahead, Sean.
and I'll be real quick. You know, and like I said earlier, just anchor how you feel about yourself in something outside of the external. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, you got to anchor it in something that's not going to be fleeting. You know what I mean? Because if not, you know, you're just going to go with the wind. If this person is not feeling you today or give you an attitude, now you're feeling down about yourself. You know what I mean? If something doesn't go your way, because we all, every day we deal with something that's not going to go our way, big or small. You know what I mean? But we have to anchor how we feel about ourselves in something that's unshakable inside of us. You know what I mean? I don't care if I'm next to the most dieselest guy. The way Sean, the way Slim feel about himself don't change. It don't.
right,
It won't change because it took time, but I don't allow nothing outside of myself. I try not to allow anything outside of myself and what I've anchored my belief and what I've anchored my self-belief in to be able to shake me from that. It don't matter. I don't care if somebody in the room that got $1 million, $1 billion, diesel, every woman want them. It don't matter. I'm gonna be the same flim. I'm gonna feel just as good about myself. Right?
right,
And but that's something that I continually work on, and it's something that didn't come overnight. But you know, I made sure that I've tried to anchor how I feel about myself in something that is not external because that changes, and I can't control that. I can
right,
control me. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, and I think for me, right, one important thing for me is one, I'm learning to speak up. I joke a lot, right? So I'm learning to speak up when people may say a joke that actually hurts my feelings. You know what I'm saying? Like it happens.
yeah,
And you know, when you joke a lot, sometimes like I mean, I say blah blah blah, or you look this way, and somebody say blah blah blah. That dumb, you know what? Well, I was about to curse. I'm trying to be PG-13, but somebody say you got that dumb voice. I don't know. That hurt my feelings. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna lie and say that. That's one thing that I know for me. And the other thing is, I'm learning not to cling so much to the negative things and starting to cling to the positive things that people say. And I think we tend to cling to like you can have 20 people tell you look good, but one person tell you, you know, they don't like the way you look. And rather than clinging to those 20, you cling to that one person and you carry that around,
mm,
let that mess up your day. So I'm
Mhm.
learning to, like I said earlier, you know, start to view myself the way the majority of others, you know, view me. Sean, you said something when you were talking where you said, um, when you were talking about how you got to have it in yourself, but I think that it's important to about the circle of people that you have around you. You have people that you have identified in your life as your friends, as your brothers, as your, you know, people that are
Mhm.
close to you. Lean on those people when you're feeling weak. Lean on those people when you're feeling not good enough. Lean on those people when you're starting to struggle. Lean on them people when you get really down on yourself. The other night, literally Sunday night, I was super down, like super duper down. It's like 1 in the morning. I literally had to call somebody and say, "Yo, I'm in a real dark place right now. Can you come give me a hug?" Like, and that was that. Like, I just need you to give me a hug and tell me everything's gonna be okay, so I can go to bed. And it was so hard for me to do that. Oh my gosh! Like, if I would did it when
mm,
I first started feeling that way, it was like 10 o'clock. I waited till 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm sitting here crying. You know, my kids were asleep by then. I'm just sitting in the house crying, and I'm like, I really just need someone to give me a hug and tell me everything's going to be okay. And I had to remind myself, you identify people in your life who are your friends. You have identified people in
right,
your who care about you. Why don't you use them when you're not feeling like enough, when you're not feeling confident, when you're having moments. My sister-in-law, I don't know if she's still watching, but when I was talking to her the other day, she said something like, people think depression is a weakness. People think that sadness is a weakness, but it takes a really strong person to say, hey, I'm depressed. Hey, I'm sad. Hey, I don't think I look good today. Hey, I'm struggling today. Like, that's true strength to me.
Yeah.
And I'm learning to reprogram my way of thinking, because I spent my entire life that thinking that strength was suffering in moments of weakness and not saying anything. So
Right.
like I'm learning that, like, nah, like I'm a little messed up right now. This therapy thing got me thinking about stuff that I hadn't been thinking about, and I'm like, yeah, I'm a little messed up right now. And I found myself having a lot of moments over the past few weeks where I'm just like, I don't got it today. Like, I'm down on myself today. I don't want to do it today. And in those moments, I'm starting to reach out to my circle, those people that I have identified. So that's some big advice that I would give to anybody who might be viewing this, anybody who will view this, that you're not alone. I know you feel like you're alone, but you're not alone. And if you
Yeah.
try to take on the world by yourself, man, you'll lose every time. And lean on the people who have you identified in your life as your friends in those moments of weakness.
Yeah. You know what? Not to cut you off, but straight up, add me to your circle, man. You know what I mean? Like if you feel like you can't get in touch with them people, or you feel like it's something that because I feel like my friends are relatable on different levels. So
Mm-hmm.
if you feel like it's something that Sad might understand, that, yo, just hit me up, man. You know what I mean? Like,
Definitely.
the one thing that's kind of scary though, when you make yourself available, is that you're always taking on like people's problems. So
Right.
I don't want to get into the habit of that. But for people who are like minded and trying to
Mm-hmm.
inspire people and stuff like that, like, I'm always here. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're just a person who always set yourself up for to be in a jam, you know what I mean? Maybe not you, but
Right.
for somebody like you, and y'all too, you know what I mean? Y'all don't know me like that,
Right.
but I feel like once we do something like this, we're all connected. We're all brothers now. So add me to your circle, man. You just never know. You know what I mean? Yo, I'm
Yeah.
struggling with this. What do you think about this? Just bounce it off me. I don't care. You know what I mean?
That's
Yep. And
real, man.
when you have the right people in your life, they feel you. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? So you might be going through something, and you might not have told nobody, but your homie or your lady or whoever, somebody will send you a text, hey, and the next thing you know is that encouragement. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Right.
That you know what I mean? I'll just tell, if you don't mind, just one quick thing, right? So since the pandemic's been happening, we've been stuck in the house. I'm trying to find other stuff to do, right? So I run all the time, but I'm like, man, you know what? I want to try to garden. I want to try to grow my own vegetables, right? So I planted these vegetables with nothing happening. You know what I mean? I'm going to do, you know what I mean? But my motto is, I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna figure it out as I go. Like, you know what? I'm gonna figure it out. YouTube, I follow a bunch of farmers on Instagram, all types of stuff. Like, that's just me, right? And after a while, the lantern flies, they're all on
Mm-hmm.
my crops and everything. It's just like, what's going on, right? But I kept messing with it, and then I finally, like the other week, I got my first cucumber, right?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect cucumber, best shot I ever had, right? But when I saw it, and when I picked it, I got a whole nother joy from it, right? A joy that I didn't even know I would get when I first started. I got a whole nother joy from it, because it was just a reminder to me, for me personally, in my belief system, that God is faithful, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm only speaking for my belief system, that God is faithful to me, and continue to push. And when things don't seem like they're going right, there's still a cucumber pause,
Mm-hmm.
waiting for, you know what I mean, or whatever you're
Yeah.
investing in. I'll say, whatever you're investing in, whatever you're putting your time in, it's going to show. It's
Yeah.
going to show, man. So, you know, hopefully that encourages somebody. But
Yeah.
find something, find ways to always constantly encourage yourself, man, and find
Mm-hmm.
people around you that know your heart, and know you truthfully, that are in touch with how you might be feeling, or even when they don't
Right.
know how you feeling, to shoot you the text. Yo, what's up, man? How you doing, man?
Right.
Hey, man, I'm here for you. Hey, man, whatever. Here's this song. This song. Hey, read this. Whatever, what have you, man. When you have those type of people around you, it really does help, man. It really does.
Mhm.
And we all, none of us can survive without it. Man. None of us.
And the last thing that I'll say, and sometimes get off of social media, man. Like, I
Yeah.
can't stress how many times, like, man, social media creates these false realities that you believe other people are living. And you got thousands of friends, between your Facebook and your Instagram or whatever pages you are. And you start to see other people post, like, this new car, this person got a new job, this person just got the keys to the house. And you start to look around like, all right, well, like, I'm just sitting here, So there's times where I have to remind myself, like, close Facebook, close Instagram. I'm not scrolling through that. Or I'm just going to get online, post this flyer, and then I'm not checking it again. Like, because we start to compare, right? And the moment you start to compare to another person, the stuff goes downhill real quickly. Like,
Yeah.
like
And at the end of the day, you running your own race at the end of the day, man.
right,
You know what I mean? Like, period.
You made a good point. Because a lot of times, even with me, I look like, oh, this person is younger than me. They're a homeowner. I screwed up in the past. I had my chance. Am I going to get that chance back? Sometimes you got to take that break from social media. And like you said, some people, they'll play it like, oh, I'm balling. And I've had people I don't even associate myself with no more that would be on Facebook balling. I mean, you think they got a new car, new chain, then they call me and ask me to borrow money. And I'm like, I was about to ask you for some money. You know what I mean? I'm hurt. So, like you said, social media. And then there was another thing you said earlier, cuz that stuck out. You said 1 week you didn't get that many likes when you posted the show. And I've had like 2 Saturdays where I posted the flyer for my food. And I'm going into, Friday night with only 5 platters ordered. And I'm like, do I want to go through with this? They didn't pay already. And I said, let me go through with it. And I look up and I done sold 50 platters on Saturday. So you definitely, like, all y'all made good points, man. And constantly just hearing some of the stuff y'all saying goes back to me saying I gotta take my own advice. Because y'all telling me stuff that plenty of times I talk myself out of following.
Right. Yeah, we are on worse enemy.
I'm 13 minutes over my time. Yeah, I'm 13 minutes over my time. Well, 14 now. So I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all plug y'all various things that you got going on. Sean, I didn't know what else you did. I know you do a lot outside of running, but Sean, you go and let the people know what it is that you do. You can follow him right there at Sean Flynn 1 on Instagram.
Yeah. I'm a gentleman. But that out there. That's my Instagram handle. My page is private, but if you message me and say, hey, I saw you on Rush's show, I'll accept you. But I like to run. I love music. I love God, and I love my people, man. I love my people, and I want us all to we the best, all of us. So that's what I'm about, man. Oh, and Lauren Talise, she's great too. If you're looking for some great music, she's a phenomenal singer. She has an album out and a single. Lauren Talise. LaurenTalise.com.
She's in these comments. Let me go find one of her comments. I got an old one from her. I'll put this up before. Oh, here we go, right here.
Yeah,
nice.
She's
that's the spelling right there, Lauren Talise.
Yeah, she's pretty dope. So if you need some, you're looking for some great music, she's great.
And Quote Pirate is next.
All right. Yeah, I appreciate the plug. I don't know if y'all can see it right, but this is my baby right here. 88 keys. Let me give you a better look at it. It's available on Amazon. It's a good read if you just like a story. Short book just about a kid who follows his passion with music. If you guys have kids who like to read, it's super PG-13. Just something that I'm trying to get behind pushing and to it's funny that we talk about like being in our own head. I think it's good, but people tell me that it's great. I don't, so sometimes I'll be like, it's not that good enough, to introduce here or here or here. So I got to get out of my own way and push it a little bit better. But like I said, it's available on Amazon. I appreciate, the support and the plug. Like you said, you can follow me on Instagram, the quote pirate. I call myself that because I will literally steal your quote and and drop it. And if I feel like it, I'll give you credit. If not, I'm just being honest here. I'll steal it and drop it. If I want to give you credit, I'll give you credit for it, whatever. But my page isn't private, so you can follow me. And I'm always trying to encourage people and just promote positivity in my own way. As a father, as a Black father, as a writer, as a person who's been through all kind of things in life. Every day I'm fighting, you know what I mean? And trying to push myself forward, man, and trying to be a beacon of light, especially for the big guys. Let me point that out.
and Zay?
Yeah, right now I got the Soul Supplier going on. I started doing it maybe about, I want to say 10, 11 weeks ago. It was actually something I was doing back in 2013. But I didn't have a name. I was just doing it to make extra money at the time because my job was fronting on me for hours. But you can follow me. It's Ziz De Niro, Instagram. You can add me on Facebook. If you add me on Facebook, you can also find my food page. So right now I'm just trying to grow my brand, continue to introduce new foods, get a better system, and just keep grinding. That's all I really got going on right now. And work.
Guys, thank you guys so much for joining me today, man. You guys are awesome, man. I appreciate you. Thank you for everyone who viewed. You guys are awesome. If you've been following me, you guys know that on the 23rd, I'm actually planning a Stop the Violence march where we'll march from Broad and Popular, and we're going to march from Broad and Popular down to Center City, and I'm really looking to blow that thing up, because every day we wake up and we see another person getting killed, another little kid getting killed. So we're gonna get together and do a little Stop the Violence march, and as always, follow me on Instagram. I actually recently just changed my name to the My Brother Show. You can go follow me on Instagram. I post snippets from the episode. I post flyers. I post inspirational things, or you can add me on Facebook. I don't even got no page for the show yet. Just add me. Until I get 5,000 friends, I ain't making no page for the show. So, no, seriously, you can't add people no more at 5,000. So until I get that much, look, y'all gonna have to add me on Facebook. I'm accepting all requests right now on Facebook. But thank you guys so much for viewing, man. Thank you guys for joining me. And next week, stay tuned. I'll be announcing the next episode and my next panelist. You guys are dope. You guys are awesome. One love. Peace.
All right, y'all.
All right, y'all be safe out there.
Keep